Welcome, everybody. We're excited to have iconic drummer Carmine Appice. Appice. I was going to say it right. I got it. He's
You
a
got it.
founding member of Vanilla Fudge. He's been on the show a couple years ago talking about his album Energy Overload that he did with Fernando Perdomo, but he's back talking about Cactus and their new album Temple of Blues is out. Influences and Friends. You've got to go get it through Cleopatra Records. It is ultimately badass blues. It's got a little bit of everything. As a blues fan, I think you guys covered a little bit of every style of blues on that. And it drives and then it brings you back home. And you got some iconic people with you.
That's what Cactus is. Cactus was a blues rock band. We played different kinds of blues. We did the traditional 6/8 blues. We did like a song like Brother Bill. We did a song like Alaska. They were all really
I love Alaska.
Country blues. Alaska is great. And, there's just a lot on there. But it's always been like that. But they were on separate albums. Now they're all compacted on one.
And you got some great people on there too, like Dee Snider. You've got Ted Nugent and Warren Haynes. Oh, I love Warren.
I love Warren too. He's awesome.
He's always just so positive.
I used to play with Government Mule every New Year's Eve. They did 2 nights at the Beacon Theater in New York, and I would always go on the 30th, and I'd always go and jam one of my songs, Superstition or Evil or Hot Legs or whatever.
Oh,
and it was always great. So I got to know those guys pretty well. And Warren is amazing on this record because he played and sang at the same time.
Yeah,
and that's traditional blues, and he's amazing at that.
His vocals on that were incredible, really incredible.
Yeah, well, he did it together with the guitar. That's why they gelled together so well. He's amazing. Yeah. He's an amazing artist, period, guitar player, singer.
Let's go back a little bit in Cactus history for those who may just be waking up to Cactus, because you guys have been around for a while. Just how this all started. And one thing that's also on my mind is who wrote the lyrics of the songs?
Well, it started, it was going to be Jeff Beck, Tim Bogert, myself, and Rod Stewart. Rod didn't want to do it with Jeff. And Jeff got in a car wreck. I wasn't doing anything for 18 months. So we got Jim McCarty because we always loved him. And Jim got Rusty Day, the singer. Rusty wrote all the lyrics. He was an amazing lyricist. I mean, all the lyrics on and Brother Bill, with tremendous lyrics and all the lyrics, and one of my favorites, a song that we didn't do, is called Token Choking. And the lyrics I got, like Token Choking, everybody's joking, your best friends don't care, run up, throw up, hope your brains don't blow up. Notice that you're losing hair. I mean, that was done in 1972. Nobody was losing hair yet. So it was a lot of the stuff he did were forthcoming.
Yeah.
Later years. And we did three albums with that band. Then we changed it to more of a Rod and the Faces kind of band. And Atlantic Records didn't like Rusty. They kept telling us to get rid of him. And finally, when McCarty wanted to do something else, we went out and put another band together that was more like the Faces with an English singer. Then me and Tim joined Jeff Beck, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And then we brought it back in the early 2000s. We did a reunion. It was the advice of Eddie Van Halen. And I said, I put Vanilla Fudge together. He says, screw Vanilla Fudge, put Cactus together. He loved Cactus. Matter of fact, Eruption, that song on Van Halen, that's really the intro to Cactus is Let Me Swim extended.
Oh, okay.
Just playing on it. So I extended it on this record so you can make a comparison. And I put an amazing guitarist on there, Doug Aldrich. So he played the part. So if you play Eruption and play the intro for Cactus, you go, wow, it is the same kind of thing.
Yeah. What's it like as a drummer with all these different styles of blues? Because you wail. Like I don't, that's a weird thing to say. You say that about a guitarist, right? But you haul. And then you bring it back in, but you're still so tight and so like it's hardcore, even if it's soft. It's amazing to me. You've got this technique of being able to go from one to the other.
It's dynamics. I played all kinds of music. From Vanilla Fudge to Cactus was a major change. And then BBA was similar. And then this group I did called KGB with Mike Bloomfield, who's a blues guy. But that was more of an LA session kind of drumming sound, I never did before. And then I joined Rod Stewart, which was totally different, but still in my style. I just had to, move it around a little bit. But on this one, the funny thing about this, talking about drums, I started the whole album with just the drums. Right? No vocals, no anything. Right here in my room. You see my drum set up there?
Yeah.
I sat there with a click, sang to myself, Parchment Farm, and did it.
I love that.
No, one way or another like that. And then I said, I can't do it like this because if I wanted to fix something on the drums, I didn't know where the verse was or the chorus because it was just the drums. So then I did the rest of the songs like Evil, put the click down, and I went bomb, bomb, drum fill, bam, bam, drum fill. You're one way from home, and I did the whole song like that. That way, I had something to play to, and I knew where it was in the track. So if I wanted to replace a drum fill like in the second verse, then I know where it was, and I could just zero into that. And then I worked, and I did the rest of the album like that. And then I sent it to our singer that was on, Jim Stabley. He put guitar, vocal, and harmonica where needed. And then we sent it to the bass player, and now we have a demo. And then I started calling my friends.
All right. And then did you do it all in one studio session, or is it back and forth? Because it flows well.
Everybody was all over the world.
Yeah.
Nothing was done together. Nothing. The only thing that was done together is Martin Haynes playing the guitar and the vocal. Everything else was stems all over. But I've always known how to play to a click, so it doesn't sound like a click.
Yeah.
I've always been a little slower, a little faster, and it gives it more of a humane feel. And then I send it to somebody else, and they can play to it. And I say, just play to the drums, don't play to the click.
Right.
That's what they did, and it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like we were all in the room wailing.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. I mean, to me, I felt like I was at a concert, and you guys are touring, right? Or you're touring? You're out doing shows?
I'm always doing something. We're doing some Cactus shows. We did 3 already. We're doing another 2 next weekend. Doing some more in August. I'm also doing I have a Rod tribute kind of thing, but it isn't more like a tribute. It's like me and this girl that plays sax. I was with Rod 14 years, and I was with Rod 7, so it was like 21 years of Rod. Then the guy we got singing looks and sounds like Rod, moves around like Rod, and it's a great show. It's really a really great show.
Cool.
We talk about how songs were made. How Do You Think I'm Sexy was wrote, how people get ready happened, how Young Turks happened, and that kind of show. And the guy's name is Rod Cardle, who's a great, great Rod guy. He's been doing it for 20 years, but now we hooked up, and we're going to take it to the next level and make a real show.
Sweet.
So I do that, and then I do Cactus. I do some Vanilla Fudge. So
I know you
do everything.
I think the last time you were on the show, you just you went and saw Rod. I think it was in Vegas. You kind of went, "Hey, I'm coming to say hi," and
no,
I think it was Vegas.
It was in Florida. Yeah, it was in Florida.
Was it in Florida?
At the Hard Rock Casino. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's where I got the idea to do this Rod thing. Because I'm watching 12 songs. I was on 8 of them.
Yeah, might as well do it.
So I said, you know what? I never get to play these songs anymore. So now I play them all.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's cool. That's cool. So you're gonna do the Rod thing, and then what about Vanilla Fudge? Is that ever gonna?
We just did 4 shows a month ago, 4 sold out shows. We got some more in a couple of months. And our singer Mark Stein is playing with Dave Mason, so he's out there doing that. So when he's available and I'm available, we'll do some more.
That's sweet. It's good to be back touring now, huh? And playing.
Yeah, I mean,
after
it's
COVID.
not touring like we go off for a month. I don't want to do. It's too much trouble. At my age, it's like I go out for a weekend, 4 days, I come home. I like that. I got a beautiful house.
Do you fly or do you drive? Because I know you're a car
Well,
guy.
we would fly and then get a Sprinter van, those big vans, the
Yeah,
high
yeah,
van.
nice.
And so you can put the gear in the back, whatever gear we got, not a lot, much fudge. And then we're in there, we have two roadies, they drive, and we sit and drive with them. Stop and get something to eat. It's very relaxing.
Cool.
Rather than you finish the gig, you pack up, you get in the tour bus, you sleep in a bus. I don't like that. I never slept good in the bus. And now we finish a gig, we go back to sleep, and we get 7 hours sleep, wake up, have breakfast, get in the van, drive 3 or 4 hours, and we're there. And with the bus,
Sweet.
sometimes you drive overnight, it's like 10 hours. So I won't do that no more. Unless I'm touring like Rod Stewart, and I got my own plane, my own nurse, my own doctor, my own laundry person, my
And
own
his
everything.
railroad, doesn't he do like a railroad thing, a model railroad or something? It's a
Oh, he loves
Delta.
that, yeah. But he'll play 2 days and take 2 days off, and usually those 2 days may be in the same place. Easy,
Yeah.
easy to tour like that. But I'd rather do 3 or 4 gigs, go home for 2 weeks, do another 2 or 3 gigs, go home for 2 weeks. I mean, with the Rod show, we're doing a lot of one-nighters, maybe a couple of nights in different places, but it's easy. You take a plane, you go there, you're done, you're back home the next day.
Well, do you like it also that you're doing different projects all the time?
I do.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never got to play Rod songs anymore. And now I'm playing them. And I was heavily involved in it. Do you think I'm sexy? Passion, You're in My Heart. Young Turks, I co-wrote that. Do You Think I'm Sexy? I co-wrote that. Hot Legs. All the big songs when he was like huge, gigantic.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's still there. Yeah. I mean,
he's still
both
big,
of
but
you.
we did 6 nights at the LA Forum, 6 nights. That's
Wow.
120,000 people.
It's
You know,
huge.
we did 5 nights at the Garden. That's 100,000 people. 4 nights in Cobalt Hall. That's 90,000 people. I mean, he doesn't do that. He does here at the Hard Rock. It's like 6,000 people, but they charge a lot more money. But
Yeah.
he's not doing 100,000 people here in Miami.
Well, Temple
But,
of the Blues, when you tour with Cactus, you're going to be playing those songs, obviously, because that's part of
well,
your history.
they're all the old Cactus songs.
Yeah, they're all your old songs, but this album is already charting, right? It's up on Billboard. It's kicking
It's up
butt on
on
the charts.
it's number 3 on Billboard's blues charts, which blew me away. It was my idea to market it as a blues album because it really is a blues rock album. And I
It
noticed
is.
that Foghat and Robin Trower are on the blues charts on Billboard because none of us can get on the top 100 anymore, maybe, or if we do, just barely, but the blues charts is a different story. So I said to my record company, the owner, it was his idea to do this. No, it wasn't my idea. He said, I want to, and we do well, okay, with Cactus Records on his label. And he said, I got an idea. Let me know if you can do this. He said, I want to get together an album with all the old Cactus songs and get all the people who Cactus influenced and put them on the record
Oh,
on the
okay.
songs. I said, yeah, I can do that. I said, let's do it influences and friends because I know a lot of friends that maybe weren't influenced by Cactus that would play on it because they're friends.
Okay.
So I said, yeah. So we did it all. We got Nugent on. I did Bonamassa's podcast. He said, your song Parchment Farm and the first Cactus album blew my brains out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
told him what we were doing. I said, well, I'd love for you to play on that. He said, okay. So
That's a hell of a first song to open up the album,
that's
right?
what we did on the first song, first album too. And then recently we got a weird Yahoo News, which is pretty big. The headline was everybody should own the first Cactus album. I said, wow, that's good timing.
That's funny.
And there's a lot of the songs on this album was on the first album. Like Olio, that one, Brother Bill, which one other? Can't Judge a Book. They were all on the first album. So, and when you did those albums, you only had 8 songs back then. You could only get 8 songs on
That was like
album.
a bigger EP.
Yeah. So we got half of the first album on this one, but played by other people. And Can't Judge Your Book is played by the new Cactus band. So they're going to be on tour with us. And, you know, we built it. And then after we built it, it was called Cactus Influences and Friends. And I said to the owner, I said, look, you know, Foghat's #1 on the blues charts. Robin Trower. We play the same kind of music as blues rock.
Mhm.
Let's market it as blues.
Yeah.
He said, okay, let's call it Temple of Blues.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, but I think it's a big deal. Like, I love the name Temple of the Blues, but I also think it's important that blues is in the forefront, because it's even when it comes to the Grammys and things, I think blues
Yes,
should be
thank you.
further up in when there's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's
Like, I
right.
just want to say, if you don't look at rock as a blues foundation, there is no rock without that blues in there.
That's right.
There isn't.
And I even had an argument with our guitar player, Jim McCarty. He said, it's not blues. I said, come on, dude, you're in the key of E, E-A-B. It's blues. How many times do we have those changes on every song? It's blues.
Mhm.
It's blues rock. It's always been based on blues. And when he said Temple of Blues, that was his thinking.
Mhm.
Blues in the forefront. Temple of Blues Influences and Friends. And for me, I hope and pray that we get a nomination for a blues record.
I hope so too.
You know, because
Yeah.
this was not just the band goes in and plays. This was a major ordeal. It took me a year to do this. You know, with nobody playing together in the same room, sending things out. But it was a major production, you know, thing for me to do. And I took it on, and we did it. And it got better and better as we got the picture in the front. You know, you saw that picture, right?
I love that. I love that.
Said I
Everybody's
want
on
it to
there.
be like Sergeant Pepper.
Yeah, exactly. That was the first thing I thought too. It was like
Exactly.
Sergeant Pepper. Well,
Yeah.
putting this together, you were talking about dynamics, and this is like, I know Rants and Raves here on our Rants and Raves show, but I get mad at people who think, oh, blues is easy, you know, just the 3-chord thing. And blues, when you get down to simplistics, that's when dynamics is what really carries everything. And
Without a
it's
doubt.
it's not like, you know, garage band, here I can play blues because it's easy. It's actually harder in a way, because you have to put soul. And what you've done with this album is you've got soul, you've got drive, and then like I said, you bring it back home. So you've got every part of it. And who says it shouldn't rock out hardcore? Because it's all about that. And so when
Yeah.
the word
And we pretty
tempo
much follow.
means
We
you got
pretty much
everyone.
we pretty much followed the arrangements that we did in 1970, which was blues oriented. You know, like
Yeah.
take Parchment Farm. I didn't know that was a blues song. I wasn't into traditional old blues. When we played it, Rusty Day was such a great lyricist. We used to jam, and he'd come up with all these lyrics. You know, I thought that was our song. And I found out it was an old blues song. But that song particularly could have been anything, because it's not the song that sold that. It's the energy and the power and the groove, which sound like a freight train. It could have been anything. Like,
Exactly.
it could have been boom, doom, 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 buck. I love my baby, yes I do. You
Yeah.
know, that's what it could have been. But I didn't even know until we recorded and started putting it out. And when I found out that, I think it was Mose Allison wrote that song, and I said, "Wow, that's interesting."
When you think of it too, about the people that you have on there, your friends, and you know, that were influenced by Cactus, you know, people are going to think, okay, well, you got Ted Nugent, right? Like, what does he know about blues? And again, it goes back to the roots, right?
Goes back to
You've
the
got
roots.
D. Snyder on there. I'm like, yeah, come on, you know, like
Well,
Warren
you know
Haynes,
what?
that makes sense,
You
you
know why
know?
he's on there?
Why?
He had a group called Widowmaker,
Mm.
and one of my drum students was in it. And my drum student said, "Listen to this track." It was evil.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. But I told him, I said, it's good, but you're playing the wrong drum part, because the drum part in this song is very important. And I got it from Jeff Beck gave me an album of Howlin' Wolf. I took it right off the Howlin' Wolf album. Same arrangement. And when Cactus did it, we did it more powerful, more dynamic, better drum fill, you know, better guitar playing, and the vocals too, you know. So he said, I told him I'm doing this album. He said, I want to get D to sing it. He said, oh man, he's a giant Cactus fan. So I called D up. I had his number. I said, D, we're doing this. I want you to sing Evil. Not even a hesitation. I'm in.
That's sweet.
Same thing with Ted Nugent. He loved Cactus. He loved Jim McCarty. He loved Rusty Day used to be in his band, the Amboy Dukes. He loved it all. So when I said, I want you to play on it, hell yeah. I'm in.
That's sweet.
Really
That's
great, you know. So, and I knew that he was going to sing Evil. I said to Ted, "What song you want to do?" He said, "I want to do One Way or Another." I said, "Okay." So then I figured out who would play One Way or Another, and I wanted to get other guys to sing it too. So I thought of Doug Pinnick because they were big Cactus fans. I knew that.
that's incredible vocals, man.
So
Incredible.
I got him to play bass and him to sing it. When him singing it, he changed it a bit. But also Ted, when he came into the verse, he changed the verse rhythm. And at first I said to my co-producer, Pat, who was like my musical director, Pat Regan, I said, "I don't know, man. He didn't play the riff, but I kind of like it." So Pat says, "I like it too." I said, "Good, let's leave it." So we
Mm.
left it there, and he was the only one in the whole album that didn't play similar to what we did on the first few albums of Cactus. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, you know, sending something out and then wondering what it's going to sound like coming back, you know,
Yeah. That's what
really
I was gonna say.
interesting,
Isn't that kind of cool to
very
work with
cool.
all these people and then, have them kind of do their interpretation, yet still try to keep it as
Yeah,
much to the Cactus. And then, but
yeah.
it's interesting. I wonder what it would have been like with all of you in the same room. I mean, that you guys would have just had a big party. Like it's just
Yeah,
been
we would have
like
had a party, but I would have said, well,
blow the
play it
roof.
out a little more like Cactus play. But this way, there was no stress.
Yeah, maybe it's like this
When
is
you're in the
exactly what
when
I
you
want.
look
Yeah.
when you're in one room doing it, you know, people don't know it. You got to teach them it. When you send it out like that, here's the rhythm track with the bass drums
Mhm.
and the vocal. We just need the guitar. They take their time. They're in their own
Mhm.
studio. They do stuff. If they don't like it, they replace it. You know, it's very hard to do that, gathering
Mhm.
people in one room. I kind of did that with my Guitar Zeus album. I don't know if you know about that. You know about that?
No.
Oh, okay. I did an album in the 90s called Carmine Appice Guitar Zeus. Look it up on
Okay, I will.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And basically, I had Tony Franklin, myself, and this guy, Kelly Keeling. Me and Tony were in Blue Murder. We came out of Blue Murder a couple of years later. We did this. And Kelly is an unbelievably talented genius of the guitar and
Mm.
songwriting and vocals. But he wrote too many things. A song that should be 3 minutes, 5 minutes long was like 10 minutes long. And some songs that I wrote with him. Anyway, we wrote all these songs. And then I said, okay, how am I going to do this? I knew Brian May would play on it because he's a friend of mine.
Mm.
And I asked him when Freddie died, he had nothing to do. And I asked him, would you play on this? He said, yeah. I knew Ted would play on it. I knew the guys from King's X would play on it because, you know, they were Cactus fans and we were friends. So
Yeah.
I got Brian May, Ted, and the guys from King's X to
Oh
do it
man, I could
first.
check this
And
out.
I know that would draw in everybody else. I got Slash, Yngwie Malmsteen, I got Steve Moss, I got Richie
Oh wow.
Sambora, I got I can't remember everybody. Vivian Campbell. Who else do I got? I can't even remember. I did 2 albums,
God
37 tracks
damn.
total, and there's a couple of I got Dweezil Zappa. I mean, there's a couple of guys that are double. Ted Nugent's a double. Ty Tabor's a double. Doug Pinnick's a double. That's about it. I got Neil Sean. I mean, I got everybody, all the
Wow.
80s guitar players that were big. They were on that album.
That's awesome. I need to go
Yeah,
get that album now.
yeah.
It's like
I have
it's like you're
I have
doing
a
another
double
kind of
album
collaborative
now.
like that.
It's a double album now for sale on Deco Records,
Mm.
DEKO. And you know, it was like the same thing. I did everything. Some of them I didn't know. I even got Steven Seagal on there. I got what's his name? McEnroe, the tennis player,
Yeah.
he was on there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, because he had
Yeah,
a band.
John
Yeah.
McEnroe. Yeah, he played guitar on one of the tracks. Got Stevie Salas. I played with Rod Stewart. I got
Yeah.
guys I can't even remember. So even Seymour Duncan that makes all the pickups, he was on there. You know, and it was the same kind of thing. But me, Tony, and Kelly, we did all the tracks all together. But we wrote it, put it on a 4-track. We rehearsed it, and then we went in and recorded it. It's two
Nice.
different albums. I
Oh,
got the budget from Japan. I sold all these records all around the world. 2 albums. And then I did Guitar Zeus Japan, Guitar Zeus Korea with Japanese and Korean guitars. It was an unbelievable project that kept going. You know, I just released a 25th anniversary box set.
Oh,
here.
nice.
It was never
Okay,
released
cool.
here, and it tells the whole story, and it's really good. So that's why I knew I could handle this.
Yeah.
I did it
Yeah, but
before.
it's exciting to me and it gives, new listeners, new fans. I think that's what it's going to do is bring new fans in.
Yeah.
I think we're getting back to rock. I think the world is starting to understand we need real music. I don't know how to explain
Well,
that.
I mean, it is, but it's a small area. I mean,
Yeah.
even like the new rock, these kids that go, like on the bass drum, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I call heavy metal.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
it's
Van
different.
Halen and everything before Metallica for me was just hard rock,
Hmm.
heavy hard
Yeah.
rock. Metallica started that. What's that word for the guitar? That guitar sound that's like real
It's like
heavy
deep. Yeah,
metallic
it's
sounding.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
From there on, that was heavy metal.
Yeah. There's a lot of good heavy metal, but it's still rock
I mean,
to
like
me,
Black
hard rock.
Sabbath. We did gigs with Black Sabbath when they first came out with
Hmm.
Cactus. We were doing the same thing.
Hmm.
They had the same. We had Marshalls. We had Marshalls. There was nothing different about it. As far as it was hard rock,
They said that wasn't he
heavy
supposed to be
metal.
the first metal band and then Bang
Who
the
the first?
band.
Who the first metal band was? Oh, what's the name of them? Now they were out of San
Bang,
Francisco.
Bang. Well,
Who?
Bang the band was on our show. They were based out of Pennsylvania. Then they
Yeah.
went down to Florida, got stoned in Daytona Beach, and just went on stage and crashed a gig, a festival, high off their hats, and
No, it was
ended
before
up
that.
doing good.
It was
Huh.
before that. It was in the 60s.
Yeah, this was around the and Ozzy had just this when Ozzy was like, okay, now, so they met him and they were at the same festival or something. I don't know.
I'm
You're like,
sure.
no.
I never heard of Bangs in the 60s. Okay.
Okay.
I forgot the name of the band, but they used to have gigantic Marshall amplifiers. And when
Yeah.
they played, they were heavy and loud, you
Mm.
know. And they did Summertime Blues. That was their song
Like you,
originally. Originally, before Motley Crue did it.
yeah.
They were the original band. God, I can't remember the
I was
band's name.
gonna say because didn't I was gonna say the Who covered that once too,
No, it was the Who.
but
Yeah,
it wasn't.
you're right. It was the Who did that. They had another song. Might have been Smoking in the Boys' Room. It wasn't them either, but it was. God, I wish I could remember the
Like,
name. They
oh,
were out of
Iron
San
Maiden.
Francisco.
Now I'm
No,
going
no,
like
no,
Iron
no,
Maiden, Deep
no, no.
Purple, all of that.
Way
God,
before
yeah,
all that. You're
yeah. Now I
talking
have to
about
look it up.
bands that started in the late 70s.
Yeah.
This
No,
was
I'm gonna
68,
60s, 60. Okay, I gotta
67.
think.
God, maybe I'll think of it as
Yeah,
this.
2 in the
But they were
morning.
the first, as far as I'm concerned, that could have been the first heavy metal band, but they were still really hard rock. They didn't have
Mm,
the buzzsaw. That's the guitar, buzzsaw sound on the guitars.
okay.
It's Metallica. But anyway, what are we talking
But
about?
rock, going
Yeah,
back to
it's
rock, because
going.
we just
Yeah,
don't
but
hear it as
still,
much,
it's still,
you know?
this really the only thing that's selling big tickets and is the bands that were big in the 80s.
Yeah, it's all
Aerosmith
coming
and
back.
Bon Jovi, you know, Iron Maiden, those kind of bands, Some of the bands aren't, like Rat, they kind of blew away.
Mhm.
But some of the big bands.
Mm.
Now I'm good friends with Nico. We went to a few shows with him. Unbelievable. 18,000 people sold out.
Wow.
And they were a lot better than I thought they were. I never really was a fan. I liked them a lot that night, but you know, those are the
When
guys just going,
when
they're
you're
really rock.
performing, when you're performing at like huge concerts, like when you're talking about when you were touring with Rod Stewart and you're talking about tens of thousands of people, right? All the way up, right? To then maybe like 6,000, the difference, right? So what is it like energy wise? Does it make any difference to you guys as performers to the audience size?
No,
Mm.
unless you're bumming out in the fact, oh man, there's 20 people in the audience.
Well, you still got to play to it, man.
Yeah, you still got to play, but you don't play as good.
Yeah.
But I've been lucky, and you know, no, I don't play arenas anymore, but I play, you know, theaters that have 1,000 people. You know, that's a good sized crowd, you know.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
my good friend Buddy Rich told me that. He said, you know,
Mm.
on his dying bed, he said, your drummers got screwed. I go, why? He goes, you play in a band with like Frank, I play with Frank Sinatra. He plays Madison Square Garden. I play a 500 seat venue. I said, yeah. He goes, you and Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
play 500 seat venue. He's still playing, you know, arenas. I said, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I really, at the point, I didn't really think about it because that was 1987. I was still playing with Blue Murder. We were playing, you know, with Bon Jovi and playing arenas, you know. But
But yeah, because you're at the back.
I
You know,
get it now.
they put you at the back, but then at the same time, like you're singing too. You do backup vocals, you sing as
I
well as
do, I do
play.
lead vocals
How
too.
how the hell
With BBA, with
how
BBA,
do
I
you
was the
do
main
it?
singer. I've been singing all my life.
And play drums at the same time?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I mean, that to me, that you were talking about Warren Haynes singing and playing guitar at the
You
same
just do
time
it. You just do it. You know,
because you're
I
not
sang
thinking. You're
when I
not.
was a kid. I sang doo-wop in the subways of Brooklyn. So I
Ah,
sang
sweet.
lead vocals, background vocals, and Vanilla Fudge. I was the lead singer in a couple
Hmm.
of few songs. You know, and with Beck, Bogan Appice, I was the main singer. You know, I see myself on YouTube on in concert. We did Morning Dew,
Mm.
a song that Jeff Beck made famous with Rod Stewart. So I'm like doing a Rod Stewart while I'm playing drums. And I look at it now, I go, holy Christ, how do I do that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, because you can't be thinking about what you're doing. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you don't think, but you're not like you're just
No,
in the flow, in the zone. You're
no, you're
just
thinking about
doing it.
singing or playing drums. It's like a computer. I'm doing two things at once, you
Yeah.
know. And we just released a Beck Bogan Appice box set, 50th anniversary on that. And I had, you know, since Jeff Beck died, I had to be the only one left to
Mm.
listen to everything and make sure it's mixed properly and mastered. And I'm listening to it and I said, man, this album is on fire. I
Mm.
mean, I'm singing my butt off and playing my butt off. I did a solo that was 10 minutes long. It was ridiculous, you know?
That's
But
cool though. But that, those days, like that's the thing to me. Like we shouldn't be saying how long a song should be. A song should dictate what the length of it.
oh yeah, well, that's what we did with Vanilla Fudge.
Yeah,
We introduced that. Songs used to be 4 minutes and you keep hanging on with 7 minutes long.
exactly. It's like
So,
the radio.
I
Didn't
mean,
the radio only say like 2 minutes? You had two
yeah,
minutes or
they did an edit for AM radio, but what was getting famous was album-oriented radio, FM
mm.
radio. That was just starting. And now FM radio turned into the top 40, all the classic radio. They play the same shit over and over.
I can't stand it. It's a rant. That's why I said before we started recording, your album is going to get me across the state of Texas.
Yeah,
Maybe
there you go.
give me a couple tickets. Hopefully not, but that could happen listening to that. But
Well,
but that's
that's good. I mean, it's got the energy to get you there.
yeah, for sure. I'm going to need it. I do want to ask you this because of the collaborations you've done over your years and then also with this album and working with different companies, how important is having the right relationships and recognizing who you want to be in a relationship with in the industry to success and not being so stressed out because relationships are everything and it could really screw you up in the industry,
Totally,
right?
totally. I mean, I know the owner of Cleopatra Records since 1992 when he started it, you know, and we've been friends and yeah, we go to LA and I go to the Rainbow with him and he drink too much and I drive him home. You know, we were good friends, you know, and I've done a lot of my projects with him. And the Cactus projects I did with him were successful, you know. And that's why when he came up to me, so the relationship is important, the
Mhm.
label, you know. And you know, I've done records with him that he just released, you know, they didn't put it behind it. But I knew if I did this record, it was his idea. If we get it done, he's got to get the whole company behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
He wouldn't want it to fail.
Hmm.
And then when I came up with the idea of marketing it as blues, then he came up with the idea of Temple of Blues, and then I came up with the idea of the album cover, and they said we can make album. I said we can make the album cover in a temple. You know,
I love it.
so it's like just bouncing back and forth.
Hmm.
But usually you don't get to do that with a record
Hmm.
company owner. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, all the
but
labels I did, SPV in Europe and Frontier in Europe, nobody ever got involved in the creativity of how to market it, or you know what the album cover should look like, and what you know where you're going to market it at. You know, so
yeah,
yeah, it's been
that's
crazy.
cool to have that kind of relationship. And then what about in regards to managers? I mean, that's got to be difficult too, someone telling you what to do.
Well, I've always had managers that worked with you. You know,
Hmm.
the manager I've had now for a few years, you know, I work with him. He manages the band, but he doesn't manage the band solely. I'm in there with him, you know,
Okay.
because you know, so I've been in the business so long, I know how it works, you know.
That's
And
what I was asking for up and comers, getting started. It's important to understand.
you know what? Today I don't have a clue how to make it.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue. I hear bands from my neighbors' kids. They tell me this one, yeah, they just played 10,000 people theater. Who are they? They're
And
not
what
on
was
any
that?
radio. I know. There's no radio. How did they get
Mhm.
big? But I did notice all these bands are older. They're not like 20 years old.
Mhm.
So a lot of them are older. So they probably spend 10 years building it, going around touring for nothing and building and building and building, making money on merch and using that for the hotels and stuff. I'm just guessing. But
Yeah.
I never heard of any of these bands, and they do great. And a
Mm.
lot of them are
Internet.
on the bus or on the internet. I don't know how to work the internet. You know, I mean, these people there, these kids are always on Facebook and Instagram. I got better things to do in my life than sit on the internet. You know, I used to ride in the car and listen to the radio and say, "Oh, it's a new band. I like that. What's the name? The Police? Yeah, I like them." You
Hmm.
know, now I go in my car. If I turn on those stations, I hear Led Zeppelin. What's that?
Over and over.
Over
Hotel
and over.
California
I hear
without fail.
Hotel California. I hear what's that one? The big one for them, dude. The ballad that goes into Stairway to Heaven.
Oh,
I hear
over
that
and
all the
over.
time. I don't even hear a whole lot
Freebird.
of Freebird. Oh, horrible. You know, I mean,
But you know what? Those songs
Freebird,
were great when they were made, but because it's in your face over and over and over and over
get
again,
it, you
it's
know. Well, now at least they're playing some Guns N' Roses from the first album, but but they don't play anything new. I mean,
oh, it's
Rolling
sweet.
Stone album comes out, nobody hears it. It hits
No,
the
that's
charts
true.
because it hits the charts because people know it was the Rolling Stones. They buy it, and then it falls right off the charts. In the old days, Rolling Stones, Rod. So when I was at Rod, man, we had a #1 album. It stayed on the charts for a year. Vanilla Fudge was on the charts for a year,
And people
2
would
years.
wait in line for the album to drop at the record store.
Yeah, and now there's no record stores. And like I say, I'll say it again. Trump says drill, drill, drill for oil. I say buy, buy, buy. Don't stream. You can't come to my gig and stream a Cactus album to sign.
Yeah.
You can get an album and go, hold on here, I gotta get it out. You can go, can you sign my album?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you look at it, you go, wow, look at all these people on there. Oh, cool. Look
Yeah.
at all these. Everybody's got a quote about the album, about Cactus, and
Actual
the back
notes.
looks like a temple. Wow, this looks like a temple of blues. Oh, cool. You don't get that no more. You get
Hey,
nothing.
but the positive
You know
thing is
who's on?
vinyl.
That's why the only guitar hero of late that I know of is Joe Bonamassa.
Oh, he is a badass. He is.
Yeah, but
He really is.
tell me a new guitar hero.
New.
Who?
No, you just said new.
I'm saying you.
No, I thought you said you want me to give you
A
a
new
new
one, yeah, like a
guitar,
new
a
one
new
from
one.
today.
Derek Trucks would be the closest because he's still young.
Yeah, but he's been around.
I know.
Not new. He started with record sales with his dad.
Because I even think about all the musicians we
I'm thinking
interview,
about
and
all
it's
these new buzz band guitars. Nobody knows their names unless they really want to go after it on YouTube and research them.
hmm
You know, because there's no information on Spotify and all that stuff. You just download the song, that's what you get. You get the
And
name of the band and the song.
they shift the album flow of how the album was set up in order. So if you listen to one song, it'll shift it so you don't know how the album was set up
Yeah,
according to the
exactly.
band.
Exactly.
And that
Yeah.
sucks. But vinyl is coming back. So Jack White, I'd say he's a good guitarist, but then he's
That's
not new either.
new.
I know, I suck. I'm getting old. But
No, that's not this. It's not new. You know, I mean, when back in the day, Led Zeppelin came out, you knew it was Jimmy Page. It sounds like Jimmy Page and Zeppelin. Deep Purple, Richie Blackmore sounds like Deep Purple. You know, Jeff Beck
Yeah.
sounds like Jeff Beck. Cream, Vanilla Fudge, all these bands sounded like their identities. Every band sounds the same now.
Yeah.
They got all these guitar players going.
Well, okay. Well, there's
and the
Ryan
drummers.
Bingham, but then he's like slide country rock, but he's been
Well,
around for a while now.
I don't listen to country.
I'm just trying. I really, I know that I interview a bunch, but off the top, Fernando Perdomo is pretty good.
But nobody knows him.
Well, they should. He's been on Echoes in the Canyon. He's
But
been
nobody
with
knows
you.
him. If you go up to say, hey, you ever hear Fernando Perdomo? No.
Well, you know what? It's a lot of musicians, right? Isn't that part of it?
It's part of it, but even musicians don't know Fernando. Unfortunately, I did some interviews and they knew him because they interviewed him before. They even knew my Rod Carter. They interviewed him, which is funny. But that's because it's Spotify. There's no albums. You know, I mean, when
do you
I
think
did the
vinyl's
stuff
going to come back, like truly come
not going to
back?
come back like big. You know,
and
right
tapes?
now, if you do a $50,000 vinyl, 50,000 unit vinyl, you'd be number one. When I was with Rod Stewart, 5 million.
God, could you
vinyls.
imagine?
You know, it's gonna come. It's coming back. People like it, but it's not.
And tapes are coming back. That's the weird one to me.
Yeah, I was told we were going to have cassettes on this album. Maybe we still will. You know, but
hey, why not? Let's go.
Why not? That's what I said. When he said we might do tapes, I said, "Wow, that'd be interesting." But that's why this. I mean, I'm so happy this album is doing great, and but it's really a shame of the younger kids to try and make it today.
Exactly. It's hard, but I hope they listen to the album.
You know how to
get
signed? How to get signed to a label? The label says, "Oh yeah, I like them." How many views do you have?
Exactly.
How many Facebook followers do you have? It's not about, hey, in one area they drew a lot of people and they're really good and they sold 500,000 albums on their own. You know, you get the machine behind them, they can do it, but they don't do that no more. You know, you got to sell 250 or 300,000 or 400,000 views or 200,000 fans. And that's why these kids, all they do is on the internet. They're on the internet promoting and doing whatever they do. I don't know how they do it. To tell you the truth.
I've got a new musician. It's kind of new, but he is a badass guitarist. You're asking about guitarist. Lucas Nelson, Willie Nelson's son, is a badass guitarist. Incredible. And it's rock. It's got a little countryside, but he is a badass, incredible rock guitarist. So I would look him up.
You're a journalist.
Yeah, Lucas Nelson, Promise of the Real.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I just, I'm going like, come on, in the back of my mind, because I know so many that it's like,
there might be one or two, but it isn't like it used to be.
But look who he's influenced by, right?
Yeah, he's influenced by the greats.
Exactly.
You know.
Oh man,
well, I was lucky I grew up playing in the pioneering days of what is rock, what became rock. You know, we grew up. I pioneered drums. I pioneered drum clinics and drum book writing, and the bands I was in were pioneers. You know, but there isn't none of that today. You know.
Yeah, I think about like Tal Wickenfeld, the bass player. Like she's Tal Wickenfeld. Is it Ty Wickenfeld? Oh no, she's really good. She played with Beck a lot. Tal. Yeah.
Yeah, she's really good. She's been with Jeff Beck 20 years.
Yeah, so she's getting older now. I remember when she was a teenager. It's the same thing as John Mayall when he came out, right? He was John Mayall.
I knew John Mayall. I knew him back in '70s in LA, and now he's old. Really,
I know. I think, and there's just Yeah, it is. We're on the cycle. I mean, things are changing. I mean,
Are you going to
Donald
edit this?
Sutherland died today.
Oh, no
That sucks.
kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, the whole generation's time to go, you know?
No,
It's terrible. And I'm in it.
no, you're not allowed to go. No one's
And I'm
allowed to
in it,
go.
believe me, you think about that, you know? I became
Yeah.
more of a Christian lately because I almost died in 2018 from a health thing on the road way back from
Oh
Europe.
man.
You know, I said Jesus saved my life, and he did.
Oh,
So
good. I'm glad you're here.
I wrote some Christian songs that are killer, but I didn't know what to do with them. So I'm not in
Well, there's a
that
lot of
market.
Christian radio stations in the
I
South. I'll
know,
tell you
but
that.
I know that I listen to
And
them down here,
Illinois.
but I don't know how to get a record deal on that. I don't know anybody in that end of it. My
None.
manager don't know anybody either. You know,
I can't help you on that one. I have no clue.
I'm not asking for help. I'm just saying a statement.
Yeah.
But everybody's getting old. I mean, Tim Bogert died, Jeff Beck died. You know, it's like Ginger.
Yeah.
I'm the only drummer left from that 1967 era of innovation.
Yeah.
Keep going with the Who. He died. You
Yep.
got Mitch Mitchell and Jimi Hendrix. He died. You know, you got who's the other one? There's a third one. Ginger Baker.
It's
Ginger Baker.
Ginger Baker still
He
he
died.
was a badass.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
Did
we
you ever
set the
meet
whole
him?
yeah, I knew him. We were the whole set the whole precedent of rock drumming from those four. You know, and then you had Dino Denali of the Rascals. That's who I looked into. You know, he was American, but I was the only American of those guys. Everybody else was English. But between all of us, we set the precedent of what rock drumming became. And Ringo was there, you know, Ringo,
Oh, I love
but
Ringo.
Ringo wasn't like,
No, he wasn't hardcore.
he wasn't a
It,
badass. He was a very cool, what he started was making drum parts for songs instead of just
hmm
playing drums, you know,
That's
which is
true.
cool, you know. But, starting at the Beatles as a teen idol, I thought it was awful.
Where did the double drums, like having two drummers in a band, who started that? And
Two
what is that
drummers?
like? Having two drummers.
I don't know. I saw a band in 1966 called Portable People. They had two drums. They never did,
How would that work?
So
Would you ever do that?
I've done it with my brother.
Yeah. What's it feel
Yeah,
like to have two drummers both?
fun. It's a lot of fun because you can do with my brother. It's great. So he plays like me and I play like
hmm
him. So he'd look at me and we'd do a fill together. We knew what our eyes told us what to do.
That's
You know,
cool.
a lot of fun. And we were up in the front of the stage, not in the back. And that was
Ah,
my whole thing, bringing the drums out front. I spent my whole career doing that, and I think I achieved it to a point. You know,
yeah,
because
man,
drummers are not usually known. You know,
that's true. But to me, it's everything. If you don't have the foundation,
oh,
the drum and the bass is everything. You ain't got nothing.
if you don't have a drummer with the right feel, the whole record's gonna feel different. You
And you
know,
have to have the right bass player, right? That's also a
yeah,
huge.
but it's mostly the drummer.
Mm.
Drummer is the total bricks.
So
The
that's it,
bass player is
everybody.
yeah, the
That's
bass player
that's.
sits right on top of it, right on top of the
hmm
brick. But once you get that
Yeah.
foundation of the bass and drums, it's a certain feel, and you never get the same thing.
You're the herder. You know what I mean? You're the leader of. I think the drummer is always the leader
Without
and
a
the
doubt.
herder. And people always think it's the front person.
I mean, if you're in a band, you play drums, and the band's playing, you stop.
Yep,
It falls apart. There's nothing
that's it.
there. Nothing there.
That happened with our band. Our drummer stopped, took
Oh,
his
you play? What do
drumsticks,
you play?
his vocals. Mostly I did
Okay.
a little guitar and songwriting and lyrics, but and it was blues, blues rock. And the drummer, it says during a show, got so pissed at our rhythm guitarist, took his sticks, went up to him, is like, I'm gonna shove these somewhere. And the band kept playing on, and the audience thought that that was
It
part
was
of
the
the show.
arrangement.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't. But
Well, I always did
stuff
a thing.
happens.
If I make a mistake or drop a stick, I do it 3 times.
Yeah,
That way, it
exactly.
looks like it's part of it.
Exactly. I think we were playing Sweet Madam Blue from Styx when that happened too, which was funny. And you just kept trying to do the harmonies going, we're in so much trouble.
Yeah.
We're dead. We're
Where
dead.
are you located?
Well, we travel full time across the country. We're
Oh,
on the
you
road
do?
100%, but that was in San
Oh, is that
Diego
why you're
about
going to
20.
Texas?
Yep, we're right now we're in North Carolina up in Durham, and then a couple weeks we drive to Tucson.
Oh, wow. And what kind of gigs you do?
Oh, not music. Not I don't do that anymore. We have to do our podcast and magazine. Can't do music and that because the bands were, that
You're
was years
going
ago.
around just for the magazine?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the
They
podcast
pay?
we
Oh,
document parks and public lands as one of our magazines. So that's what we do is, just all
wow,
of
that's
that and
great.
then music, all of it. And
And they pay you to do that. That's awesome.
well, we own it, so we have to pay
Oh,
ourselves.
wow. Oh, how do you make money? Advertising?
Advertisers, yeah,
Wow, that's great.
small
Good for
people.
you.
We're good. We try to help the smaller places that don't get the promotion
Good for you.
that
That's
they
great.
need.
That's
It's
awesome.
fun. It's
Yeah,
tiring. It's fun though.
yeah, I
It's
bet it
fun,
is.
and you get to see you see so much, you know what I mean? And so I know the way of the traveling musician, but we had a band for about 2 or 3 years in San Diego, and then we had to we can't do
Yeah.
it's just, but I'm gonna record some stuff coming up soon.
It's hard to make money with a band today.
It
Even if
is. And everyone's doing
when I was
singles.
young, there was weddings and bar mitzvahs and sweet
Hmm.
16 parties. And now, like my son just got married Saturday. There was no band. There was a DJ.
See, I want a band. If I was to get married, I would want a
Well,
band.
yeah, well, my son don't care. You know,
Everybody's different
he
on that
plays
now.
drums. My son plays drums. I had 7 drummers on my father's side of the family. Me and my brother
Wow.
made it, and the rest of them just play drums.
Seven
Yeah,
in your family.
yeah.
That's a lot.
I was
So
I was number 2.
number two. Okay. So your dad played. So that was
No,
number one.
cousin.
Cousin. Okay. And then what? But you got your brother, so would he be number
Well,
three?
he was about number 4 or 5. His
Okay.
drummers came before him, and then but he lived in New York and he happened to make it.
Wow. Wow,
Luck.
very cool. Yeah.
As somebody said, luck's a part of it. When you get the luck, you got to be able to support it.
Mm-hmm. And be
You know.
prepared
Be prepared for the luck.
and go for it.
Yep.
Show up. You show up. Well,
Okay.
Carmine, it has been good to have you back on the show. Everyone, cactusrocks.net is the website to go to and go get
And
the album.
go to mine too, CarmineAppice.com.
Yes.
I'm not sure if the Cactus.net's up yet. We're working on it. These guys take forever. But there's a Cactus Rocks Facebook,
Okay.
and there's a CarmineAppice.net and .com and Carmine Official.
And CleoRex.com too for the album. You can get it there, I believe.
Yeah, Cleopatra.com.
Yeah, go to them. They're cool. So good stuff.
Amazon.com.
Oh yes, we've got to go to the Jolly
And
Green
we're
Giant.
still in the top 10 over there too for blues,
Sweet.
which is
So-
great. I can't believe this. I don't know, wow.
I love it, but
What a good idea I had.
yeah, but I love it because it's really putting the blues up front. And so when the Grammy
Yeah.
thing goes around, how does that process work? I know we got to go, but
I don't really know. But they screw up. Like the album, the last time I did with Fernando was a great record. And it
It
should have
was.
been rock instrumental category. And they put us in a regular album category. We were there with Taylor Swift. I said, wait a minute, that's not fair.
you guys are completely
vocals.
opposite.
We have no vocals on the album. It should be an instrumental album. So that's screwed up. So I'm hoping they'll look at this one. Well, now they can't overlook it because it's number 3 on the blues charts. They can't overlook it and say, oh, you're a regular pop record. We're not a pop record. We're a blues
Oh,
record.
hell no. This is no pop.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. So I'm hoping, look, I never had a Grammy in my career, 57 years. So if I can get a nomination for this, I'm happy. If we win, I'm happier. But we can get, I think, a couple of categories. You got blues producing, you got blues, the album, you got maybe the cover, and maybe for compilation, So
No,
maybe
compilation would be good. Yeah.
we'll get
But I
something.
want you to win for blues because and I want blues to be I don't know if they're doing it televising. It used to be that blues musicians
No, they don't
and
televise it.
Well, they should. See, blues
Yeah,
is
but they
part
don't,
is
but
a
they don't.
history of America, right?
I know, but it's a small market as far as records are compared to like Taylor Swift and all these stupid acts that are out there now.
The
I
Swifties.
sound like my father.
The Swifties. Are you Swifty?
I'm definitely not Swifty.
But she's
I
a
mean,
smart
yeah, come on, it's
businesswoman.
all now. All the shows are all, even Rod Stewart now. He's got a Vegas show. It's all about the good-looking chicks in there and their outfits. And I get it. Rod's 79. He has some health problems that he can't run around like and sing like he used to. But he puts on a great show. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but it's just different. You
Yeah.
know, but all these young things like Taylor Swift and all these pop artists, they all sound the same to me. I may be wrong,
Mhm.
and I'll probably get all this hate mail to this thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's like it's all about the outfits and the chicks dancing in the background, the guys dancing, and
Well, this is our rant and rave show, so we're allowed to say stuff.
okay, there we go. Well, there you go. Rant and rage. It's not about music really anymore, even though she
Mm.
sells a million, 5 million records, whatever it is. But I don't get it.
Well, she outsold the Beatles on something too.
Yeah, she's the biggest tour ever, $1 billion. Think about that. When we were touring with Led Zeppelin, Vanilla Fudge, the tickets were $5. That's pioneering stuff back then. Now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all business. It's all about business now.
I wonder if we'll ever get to a pioneering stage in the world because I mean not just for music,
Not
but
music.
well
Not
now
music.
electric
Oh,
cars
everything's done.
maybe.
Everything's been done. Now
Mm.
it's all technology, AI. I mean, I just did an AI record with an artist that you'd never think she would sing Purple Haze, but they got the rights from, she's dead. They got the rights from the family, and they wanted to keep Cleopatra did her name backed by Cactus. I said, wow, that's pretty cool. So I did it. It was a really cool experiment.
Hmm.
I love doing it.
It's interesting how things have changed up. So the AI is a new kind of interesting world, and that's part of why we podcast because you're not going to really, I know they can duplicate it, but it's not quite there yet. And they're duplicating everything. Articles are written by Chat GPT, GT, whatever
It's
it is.
unbelievable.
Photoshop is taking people's
Contracts
photos.
come
I mean,
contracts that come with labels. They have a clause about using your performance in AI.
it's horrible.
I strike that out. I said you could use it
Exactly.
just for this project, just for this song.
Exactly.
You can't use
Exactly.
it for everything or anything else. Forget about it.
Before you go, I know you love cars. Have you
Cars?
checked out cars? Yeah. Last time
Yeah.
you gave me car advice. But, um, and I did put the wrong gas in the tank the other day, but I survived. I caught myself. And I went, oh my gosh, I remember Carmine saying, don't do this. Um, when you look at cars now, what do you think about electric cars versus gas cars? Not as
Fast as hell.
they
My
are?
son has a Tesla. Boy, they fast. But I don't like the distance thing in the battery. I mean, it's fast and everything. It's cool. But when the battery goes, gotta get rid of it. So all the emissions and everything you've saved, the battery is the worst part of getting rid of the car. Because the battery is you can't get rid of the battery. You can't recycle the battery.
Wow.
So
So
it ends up giving you, you know, killing the earth with the battery. Where do you put the battery? You bury it in the ground. When you get enough batteries, you're going to destroy that ground wherever you bury it.
well, don't we? I mean, what do you mean what would you say about a battery? I mean, for a regular gas gasoline car,
Yeah,
we have
that too.
batteries.
That too.
We have, yeah.
But they're
So we,
smaller.
oh, okay.
The batteries
Okay.
for the Teslas, the whole floorboard is the battery.
Oh,
That's how big the battery is.
so you have to replace the big battery every time you
Yeah,
have to
so you're
replace
trying
the
to
battery.
save the earth with electric cars. But in essence, when you got to get a new battery or you get rid of the car, the battery does worse damage than the gas.
Well, you have to mine for what we make batteries out of
And you got to
too.
mind it. It's just,
Hmm,
it's a
interesting.
lot. Yeah.
Ah,
but they're fast as hell. But I like gas cars because you can fill up the tank like that and go.
Yeah.
Those cars, you have to charge it 45 minutes, wait for it to charge. And then if you're middle of nowhere, you run out of battery, you're screwed.
Yeah,
You
that's
run
where
out of
we
gas.
couldn't, because we travel all the time.
Yeah, your gas, the same thing with gas. If you run out of gas, but you can see where the gas is, and gas goes a lot further.
There's a rule of the road. Always
you
fill
can
it
get
up.
halfway across Texas on one charge, maybe, but you can go further than that with gas.
Yeah.
And then if you have to fill up, if you go empty on the charge, it'll take you 20.
Well, if you're in Texas, you have no problem filling up.
Exactly. But how many electric cars, those electric charging stations are there?
There's not many at all.
In California, they're all over the place because that's what they're pushing.
In the cities. So if you're in a city area, you'll get them, and like a really busy corridor.
Well, not really. We were in Temecula, which is out of the city. But there are a lot of Teslas out there. And California is pushing it heavy. So there's a lot of Teslas out there. So they have like a gas station. They have a bunch of charging stations in there. Yeah, but
were you performing in Temecula?
No, my son got married there.
Oh, okay. Huge wine region. We used to live just around the corner, and we used to cover that area quite a bit.
That's right. And he did his wedding at a winery, and a
huge wedding destination.
A couple of different things. But but I like the cars. I like getting in, and fill it up. If you want to get, fill it halfway up, you do that, because you always got a gas station somewhere.
But that's it, halfway up. So every time, that was the rule for us, is when you get to half a tank, you fill up, because some of the places we go, you're in northern New Mexico, you ain't seeing anything for a long time. In that case,
you do that. When we travel, we always fill up.
Yeah.
For me, I'm used to, when I started buying gas, my first car, gas was 25 cents a gallon. Okay, so I'd go in and go, oh, let me get $3 worth. And it almost fills it up. And I've always done that all my life. Now, now I get $30 worth instead of like 60 to fill up. If it's down to empty. But usually I start filling it up and it's a quarter.
Yeah.
So I get $30, it brings back up to 3/4.
Well, it depends on if you're in California or not, too.
Forget about it. California is a joke. $526. They're going to add a 60 cents tax again now per gallon.
Oh my gosh.
$60, 6 cents, 60 cents on that, what they got now. It's almost $6 a gallon for regular. If you have a car like my car, so you get premium, probably $7 a gallon.
It is, exactly.
That's why they're pushing this electric bullshit.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. During COVID, we're traveling still during COVID and doing our parks, and we were in Pennsylvania, and we were getting gas under $2 during
my gas here in Florida when I moved here right at the beginning in June of 2020, $1.99.
No way.
Yep.
See?
Regular. And my high test was like $2.40, $2.49. Now the high test is, I don't know, over $4, $4.10. And the regular gas is like $3.50.
Oh, we're under
$3.30.
We're about $3.20, $3.30 here in North Carolina.
Yeah, depends where you are.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, thanks for the car.
Let's hope the guy that says drill, drill, drill gets in, so we can drill, drill, drill again.
Well, thanks for the music and the car talk.
Okay, fun.
All right. Take care.
And see you again. Okay.
Get that Grammy. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
they care so much for you. It's hard to believe love the condition that the world is in. It's hard to believe what the condition world is in. You can't trust nobody. Every woman that you know